People's next witness?
Before we call our next witness, the people would ask for a time check.
Yes.
The people have 3 minutes and 41 seconds remaining, and the defense has 2 minutes and 15 seconds.
Thank you.
The people call Devon Morrison to the stand.
Devon Morrison, please report to the stand. Please follow me. Please stand there. Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly affirm that the testimony you're about to give will faithfully and truthfully conform to the facts and rules of the mock trial competition?
Yes, I do.
Please state your first and last name, spelling out your last name for the record.
Devon Morrison, Morrison.
Please be seated.
Please.
Good afternoon, Dr. Morrison.
Good afternoon.
What do you do for a living?
I am the medical examiner for Acorn, California.
What qualifies you to be the medical examiner?
I earned my medical degree from Northern California State University. I've performed over 100 autopsies, and I've been practicing for a total of about 15 years.
Did you perform an autopsy on Alex Thompson?
I did.
And based on that autopsy, did you determine the cause of death?
Yes. The cause of death of Alex Thompson was a subdural hematoma caused by 2 depressed skull fractures on the left side of the cranium.
What does that mean?
Essentially, that means that Mr. Thompson was struck twice in the left side of the head with a heavy, blunt object. This crushed his skull and caused internal
Objection, Your
bleeding.
Honor. Narrative.
No, I think it's still part of the answer. Overruled.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Please continue.
As I was saying, the 2 blows to the head crushed his skull and caused internal bleeding, which put pressure on the brain and forced it to shut down.
Were you able to determine what Mr. Thompson was struck with?
Yes, he was struck with a walking stick.
I would like you to turn to Exhibit F. It's exhibit in front of you. Do you recognize this?
This is a photograph of the walking stick.
And how did you determine that the walking stick was the weapon used to kill Mr. Thompson?
Not only is there a large amount of Mr. Thompson's blood on this walking stick, his skin cells are embedded in that blood.
What's the significance of finding skin cells?
Well, in order for a person to bleed, skin must be broken. Broken skin necessitates a transfer of skin cells.
Did you find any fingerprints on this walking stick?
Yes, I recovered several sets.
Were you able to identify any of those fingerprints?
14 of those prints were confirmed to be the defendant's.
Did you determine anything about the manner in which Mr. Thompson was killed?
Yes, Mr. Thompson was approached and attacked from the front and struck with that walking stick. The attacker was right-handed.
How did you reach that conclusion?
Well, Mr. Thompson had scratches on the inner forearms, indicating that he had shielded himself against an attack from the front.
Earlier you mentioned it's part of your job to examine forensic evidence. Did you do so in today's case?
Of course. I analyzed some clothing and a pair of shoes.
What did your analysis of these items reveal?
They all had Mr. Thompson's blood on them.
Was there any significance as to the pattern of the blood?
Yes. On the lower right-hand portion of the shirt I examined, there is a transfer smear.
What's a transfer smear?
It's a smear that results when blood is transferred from one object to another. Whoever was wearing that shirt used it to wipe a long, bloody object.
Were you able to determine what that object was?
Yes. The walking stick, which was used to kill Mr. Thompson, had a matching smear.
Thank you. Nothing further at this time, Your Honor.
Cross-examination?
Yes, Your Honor. Once again, my name is Patrick Briley, and for the convenience of this court, this witness's statement can be found starting on page 33.
I'm sorry, I didn't. Oh, like the page you were giving me? What was that again?
Sorry, Your Honor. Yes, the page was 33.
Thank you.
May I proceed?
Please, yes.
Now I'd like to discuss something you talked about on direct examination. You said that on the walking stick, the defendant's walking stick, there were the defendant's fingerprints, correct?
Yes.
And there were also a set of fingerprints to whom you did not identify the owner, correct?
There was one set, yes.
So somebody touched that walking stick, and it wasn't the defendant?
At some point in time, yes.
Now, you analyzed heart rate levels from Mr. Thompson's fitness tracker, correct?
I did.
And the fitness tracker revealed that Mr. Thompson's heart rate stopped at, Mr. Thompson's heart rate stopped at 10:04 a.m., correct?
Yes, at 10:04, the fitness tracker registered no heart rate.
Now, the fitness tracker was broken when it was found on Mr. Thompson's body, correct?
The screen was cracked, yes.
And if the fitness tracker broke before Mr. Thompson died, it's possible that he could have died after 10:04, correct?
Yes, however, it wouldn't have been it would have been shortly after, because the blow that broke the fitness tracker would have been the blow that killed Mr. Thompson.
So, Dr. Morrison, you can't provide an exact time of death, can you?
It was 10:04 or shortly after.
But you can't be any more precise than that?
It was 10:04 or shortly after, Counsel.
And you analyzed the tree branch found at the murder site, correct?
I did.
And you found a set of unidentified fingerprints on there?
I actually found a set of partial fingerprints.
And you couldn't identify to whom these fingerprints belonged?
Partial fingerprints cannot be identified.
And you examined the blood on the tree branch, correct?
I did.
And this blood is consistent with cast-off splatter,
Yes.
implying that blood would have spattered from Mr. Thompson's head wound to the tree branch?
Yes.
Dr. Morrison, you are aware that the tree branch was found 15 feet from Mr. Thompson's dead body, correct?
That's correct.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Any redirect?
No, Your Honor. May this witness be excused.
Or excuse, thank you. Does the people have any further evidence?
No, Your Honor. At this time, the people rest.
All right. And the defense, are you ready to go forward?